Hello, 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 everyone. Miss Justice, you are number one in here tonight, girlfriend. All right, there you are. Much love, PG. Much love to you, girlfriend. You know it. And Soaring Free says hello, hello, hello. Number two, girlfriend. Number two in here tonight. Soaring Free, 1, 2, 3. Number two. All right. And Lisa, you are number three. All right. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey, hey to you. God bless. Good to see you. And let's see who is number four. Hey, Lori, you're number four. All right. Hey, PG mods in chat. Happy Easter, doll. Happy Easter to you, girlfriend. Happy Easter to you. We was celebrating the Blessed Friday yesterday, right? Blessed Friday. Good Friday. Anything you plan on Good Friday will grow, right? It will grow. Guaranteed to grow. All right. PG gave out 5 Prayer Garden of America memberships tonight. Bless the ones who got them. Amen. Gift that will keep giving. Hey, Tracy, how you doing? Summer's Angel. Chris, good to see you. Just a small town girl. Good to see you in here. Miss Potato. I love that. Lynn, how you doing? Let's see. Boondocks, there you are. Let me see. Lake Superior girl, good to see you in here. There's my 3 girls. Good to see you too, girlfriend. God bless. Southern Mama. That is cute. That is cute. I love it. Good to see you. Hello, everyone. Hello to you. All right. I'm gonna get right to it tonight. So we can enjoy our Easter day tomorrow, right? It is Easter, you guys. I have been busy, right? Kids got to have Easter outfits. They got to have Easter baskets. They got to, a lot of preparation to Easter. I didn't want to disappoint the merchants, right? We don't want to disappoint all the merchants out there depending on us to buy all their crap. Is everybody ready for Easter? Put a 1 in the chat if you're ready for Easter. You ready to have that Easter egg hunt tomorrow? You ready to have that Easter candy all over your house? Right? Sticking to everything. Chocolate everywhere. I love Easter. PG is making ham, right? PG is making ham, mashed potatoes, coleslaw, corn, green beans. Fry up a big pan of bacon, right? Got to make those green beans. Got to make all of those beautiful greens that we make every year. Cornbread, rolls. I'm going to make some, I'm going to be making, I hope to make some fried chicken tomorrow. I've been wanting some fried chicken, so I'm trying to work the fried chicken in there somewhere. Hey, Patty, how you doing, girl? Good to see you. Oh, I appreciate that. Miss Justice. Amen. Yeah, we got a lot of people already ready. They're ready for Easter. Miss Justin put it too. She's like, I ain't ready. Right? Yeah, I ain't ready. We ain't ever completely ready. We're not ever completely ready. I had to go out and make sure I got my pies and you gotta get your pies, your cake, you gotta get your Easter, all your Easter stuff in, right? And I'm doing I'm going to be doing a cheesecake, right? I love cheesecake. So I had to get a big, cheesecake pie. I love it. Just got off work. Got to go home, and I'm winded. Take a shower and then start my cooking. Oh man, I'm not doing no cooking tonight. Oh hell to the no. I thought about making my potato salad and macaroni salad. Um, some of the stuff early, and I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I'll just jump up in the morning and I like it all. I don't like, I don't trust. That's it. I don't trust that stuff in the refrigerator, right? Overnight, and then feed it to my family tomorrow. I'm like, I think I'll jump up in the morning, make a big macaroni salad and and everything, and then get everything going. So I'm like, nah, not tonight. Oh, I made turtle cheesecake homemade. There you go, girl. Absolutely. Ooh. Oh yeah. I'm gonna tell you, that is good. I think that the turtle cheesecake has caramel. It has caramel in it, if I'm not mistaken. Right? It has the chocolate and the caramel. Oh my gosh. Yeah. She's after PG's heart. She is straight after my heart right now. Oh, it does. Mm-hmm. Oh, Lord. Girl, I'm going to tell you what. You guys going to hear the microphone go off and like, where did PG go? Right? I'm going to be out hunting down some turtle cheesecake. I love caramel. I'm going to tell you, that's my favorite right there. That's my favorite. I don't know what I'd do for a Klondike bar. Probably nothing. Probably nothing. But you give me a bag of caramels, I don't know. Right? Don't tip me with the caramels. I love those things. All right. I want to talk about Jody Sue tonight. I told you guys I heard her talking, and like, it didn't take 2 seconds. 2 seconds, you guys. I realized this chick has been sent, right? Because you had Lisa up there flapping her gums, right? Lisa was up there flapping them gums for like I don't know how many days. She was up on Brooks, talk, and next thing you know, here comes Jody Sue sliding into home base, right? Popping up. She was sent. I'm telling you, these mother freakers, they are like a mother freaking Boy Scout. They're like a Boy Scout knot, right? They're so tied together, so fucking tight. It's unbelievable. I mean, they are like connected, right? I'm going to tell you, the shackles on a prisoner ain't as bonded together as good as those people are. Those people up there are unbelievably bonded. In some serious evilness. And that's the truth. I'm going to tell you, they're a group of people that keep each other going. They keep each other going. Oh, all right. Hey, girl, I'm going to tell you what, I just snapped that. I just snapped that cream cheese, caramel, sugar, brown sugar, Cool Whip mixed with Cool Whip mixed, then top with pecans and drizzle with caramel and hot fudge. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna keep that recipe. PG's gotta make some of that. Hey, cool gamer, how you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. Good to see you. Rockin' Robin, how you doing? No, that's Robin. That's Robin. Regular Robin, not Rockin' Robin. Coupon Mama says it sounds so good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Don't give me, I wasn't a foodie. I Before I had little man, I was not into food. I was no foodie. I mean, I liked certain recipes, and I have a lot of cookouts and holidays and stuff, and I don't, I like to I like to, cook different stuff sometimes, just get in the kitchen and, see how it turns out. Try different recipes, see how it turns out. Um, but I wasn't a foodie. I was one of those people, I I eat to live instead of live to eat. But with little man, I think I'm living to eat. I might be living to eat. I have to think about it. I picked a few pounds. I picked up a few pounds with little man. I was like, whoa, you know. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's a lot harder to lose than it is to gain, right? It is a lot harder. I'm doing crunches and everything else, and it's like, whoa. I got him a I got him a stroller. I got him a stroller, so if I want to jog, if I want to go out jogging, um I can jog with him. And I'm like, man, I'm too damn tired to jog. Right? It's like, little man, you gotta let your mama get some sleep. I can't pop up 6 o'clock in the morning and run, go for a jog, get back home and shower and ready for the day. I open my eyes at 6 o'clock in the morning and it's like, oh my gosh, who turned on the lights? Oh, Italian Cookie. She said, God bless everyone for a beautiful Easter day with family and friends. Amen. Amen. There's a lot of people spends Easter, the holidays alone. A lot of people spend the holidays alone. Um, and that's, I used to think it was really sad. I still think it's a little sad if they want people around, if they want people around, if they wish they had somebody to celebrate the holidays with. But I'm gonna tell you, I don't know. I don't know. It's like, you know, like I throw some family functions that I think it would have been really nice if if you could have just been alone, right? I mean, some real, how the arguments get started, and then there's an altercation between family members, and then you're playing referee, and and then by the time it's all over, everybody's pissed off at you instead of each other. All of a sudden, somehow you became a problem, um, just because you were trying to make peace. Right? It's like, wait a minute. That's the time you wish you was an only child. Right? You wish you was an only child and didn't have had that little place where you didn't have to worry about celebrating nothing with nobody. Right? Some people don't know how blessed they are. Pop up at 6 o'clock PG. Up at 8 o'clock, right? I heard that, Chris. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I can't, I scrape and drag myself up at 8 o'clock. Yeah, I used to pop up. I did 6 in the morning, boy. Sometimes I beat the alarm clock, right? I was ready, but since I got little man, no way, no way. Little man, little man will exhaust you. Let me tell you, he's um he's one of those he's one of those babies. He's one of those babies that want your attention all the time. Like he's spoiled. He is so spoiled. You know, um, when he's awake, he wants you, showing him his little books and playing with the puppets and um, yeah, he wants you to pack him around. He likes to take inventory. He wants to take inventory, not just in his nursery where all of his stuff is. He wants to take inventory of the whole house, like of the whole house. Um, and he'll just, if you're walking around with him, he'll just look at this and look at that. And he likes to be entertained. He loves to be in all the time, all the time. And let me tell you something that can wear you out. And he's gotten so big. He's gotten so big and he is so heavy. He is like so heavy, you guys. And yeah. And like I get stuck packing him around. I'll give him like my husband. He'll pack him for like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. If I'm lucky, he'll pack him. And then he's like, you want your mama, don't you? Yeah, you love mommy. Go to mommy. I'm like, no, I don't think so. Today you can love daddy. And he'll be gone. I mean, as soon as the baby's in my arms, it ain't even, no kiss, I love you, honey, or stand around and talk, gone. Afraid he's gonna get little man back. And uncle's the same way. And my kids, oh, let me tell you something. I ain't been able to find them in the last couple of weeks. So there you go. It's just me and little man. Uh-huh. Right. Chris says, I understand. I know how it is. I'm going to tell you, yeah, everybody will help spoil them. And as soon as they're spoiled and they need, like 24/7 care, all that entertainment, if you set little man down, it's like, he fake cries. He will like fake cry. He'd be like, wah, wah. And you look at him and he'll right away stare at you, see what you're going to do. And then if you don't, you go back to what you were doing, then he'll do it a few more times. He'll start to get a little more grumpy, and you turn around and you're like, what's up, little man? Show him something, and he'll just be like all happy and everything. And then you think, okay, you can get back to what you're doing. And as soon as you take your attention, it's the same thing again. I'm like, whoa. And he likes to be held. He loves to be held. And I tell you how heavy he's getting. This is how heavy he's getting. I put him in the stroller and I push him around the first floor of the house. I'll put him in the stroller and I'll like push him from where I was carrying him from room to room to room. Now he takes his inventory, in the stroller, because it's like, shoot, I'm going to tell you what, that kid's so heavy, I ain't got that kind of muscle. his head. I got a big-headed kid. I'm not gonna lie. My kid's got a big head, and it's heavy. It's like a bowling ball, right? I got kid's got a bowling ball for a head. It's big and it's heavy. Trust me, I'm not gonna lie. Right? And I don't know what happened to his hair. He ain't got none. I, I got a bald-headed baby. I have a bald-headed baby with a big old head. I can't believe I'm talking about my own kid. Hope he doesn't hear this in the future. Right? That's good, big brain. Not if he's like his daddy. Not if he's like his daddy, he just got a big head, no brains. Right? That's probably what my husband's saying about me. Hope that kid don't take after his mother. Right? Got a big head, no brains. Oh wow, yeah. Yeah. I heard that Italian cookie. Absolutely. I heard that. Um my grandmother, my grandmother did a lot of walking. My grandma, I told you my grandparents had a farm, and my grandmother, let me tell you something. Oh, you go, you know how parents leave you with your grandparents, and then grandma decides, she's going to take you on an adventure. Yeah. And walk you 20 miles. You feel like sitting down. It's like, you know, we're going to go to the market. We're going to go to the market, and a mother freaking markets. I think I don't know if it was in another town. I think it was in another state. Right? Now that I think about it, because I remember wanting to sit down a few times and just rest. It's like you didn't ever think you're going to get there, and you wasn't looking forward to the trip back. Right? It's like, Grandma, where's your vehicle? Don't you drive? But yeah, I know about those days. I had to live them. Right? Aw, good evening, Bridget. Good evening. Bridget, my husband's glued to the Bible channel glued to the Bible on the History Channel. Amen. Amen. Absolutely. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, Italian cookie. Your mother was in, I'm going to tell you, your mother was in good shape. So was my grandmother. My grandmother and my aunts, oh, they were, and my mother. My grandmother and her daughters, I'm going to tell you, they was in good shape. And my grandmother lived to be pretty old. She lived to be pretty old. So did my so my mom. My mom didn't. I think my mom could have lived to be older if it wasn't for for some things, some situations. But God bless her. God bless her. But I got aunties still alive right now. I got aunties. I got some aunties going on 100 years old. So, and they're still kicking. I think all that walking, really, is really good for people. I mean, it keeps your circulation going, and and it must be really healthy for you. My grandmother didn't run. She didn't jog or run. But she did power walk. At least it felt like it. When I was a kid, it felt like she power walked. But she can sure get around. God bless her. I don't know if I'm going to be so lucky. Actually, did you know, doctors? There was a cardiologist, and that's why, that's why I don't care. I don't care, I ain't been jogging. I haven't been jogging. I don't know if I want to get back to it. A cardiologist said that jogging, that he tells people don't jog because it actually can cause, it can cause heart problems in young people. That it's best not to. So I don't know, and he was talking to a young girl's mother. He was talking to a young girl's mother. I overheard the conversation, but he was talking to a young girl's mother that the young girl, actually, I guess something happened to her because she jogged, was a jogger, and he was flipping out. He was a cardiologist, and he was, like straight up serious and flipping out and saying how, people think jogging's healthy, but it's not. And he doesn't suggest it. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess so, Chris. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Let's
Ready to give a round of applause to Jody Sue Brown.
Shout out to Brooks. It's fair use. But shout out to Brooks getting Lisa to run her mouth enough to get Jody Sue in there. Jody Sue slid in. She slid into home base, baby, because of Lisa. And Lisa, deciding to come out and act out again, which, gives us a good insight on Summer's case and what's going on 2026, April 2026, right? Giving us an insight, up-to-date view of Ben Hill Road.
Hey, Jody, how's it going?
It's going.
Okay, so you don't know Lisa Judson, and who is this Frances lady?
I don't. The one Frances, I guess that's what, Pam's daughter or something. Pam Wells. But the other one that you're talking about, being around Chad, that is not the same one.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
And Chad Arnold, that's his wife, right? That's Marlena Crawford's sister.
Not even, and she is. The other one is. Related into Beach Creek and to Marlena and everybody else. So, and
now, she's brought up Marlena quite a few times. How would she know her?
Who?
Lisa Judson.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you for that.
I mean, if she's hanging around C&D or whatever throughout the years, then maybe that, or maybe she's making it up. I don't know.
Well,
I've never listened to enough of Lisa J to know kind of her whole skit around here throughout the years. I never paid much attention to her or what she said. I know what her supposed.
Oh, she's paying attention to what Lisa J said, or she wouldn't be up there on Brooke's panel at that particular time, right? She would. I mean, come on, Jody Sue. Stop the bullshit. Stop the bullshit. I would have asked you who sent you. That's what Brooke should have said. Hey, Judy Sue, who sent you? Because you definitely was sent. You were sent there just for information, just like they sent the lady up on Ziggy's after PG, right? Remember that? They had Candace and them sent the woman up on Ziggy's panel to come at PG, and then Candace cried because Jenna decided not to be evil and not to do the evilness for the Wells that they wanted her to do. And Candace cried, "She was my friend, my bestest friend. I can't believe my bestest friend would do this to me." You didn't cry over your daughter, but you're going to cry over Jenna deciding not to do evil for you. Make that make sense.
Good storyline was, because I think that was, whatever, way back. But I came in yesterday and I was like, who is this fake panelist? It sounds like they've just studied the rest of us and added stuff in. And
oh, listen, Lisa Jensen been studying all of them and then adding stuff to it. Lisa Jensen, for one, is homeless, right? She's homeless. She stands out on a roadside holding up a sign to get some, a few extra dollars. She lives in a hotel with weird people that she don't even know from time to time. Or sleeps in the woods. Really? Like, you really think, she's got like probably a 5th grade education, right? And she's, now she's a private eye, searching into all of them so she could add stuff to it. Bullshit. And this is, matter of fact, Lisa Jensen was one of them hanging at Pam and Don Wells' house because she had no place else to go. They picked her up. At one of those food places, right? One of them churches, serving hot food, and took her to their house because she had a child. That's the kind of people that they go out there. And, Don and Pam would go to food, to churches where they're serving hot meals, and they would sit there and basically scalp the place, right? They would sit there and literally scout out the place in order to find, vulnerable people with children that they felt that they could, bring to their house and befriend, and then use up their children, move in, take over the kids like Candace does. Exactly what they did. They're predators. They're predators, right? And they groom. What they do is they first groom these parents, right, into trusting them, and then they get the hands on those children and they start using and abusing and grooming and destroying these kids. That's what they do. And that's what Pam Wells done. Sorry, you guys. I just started coughing out of nowhere. But anyway, that is exactly what Pam and Donald did in Arkansas. That's how they found Lisa. That's how they found Candace. Candace was pregnant when Pam brought Candace into Don and hers into their home. And Lisa J had a little boy when they found her and brought her into their home. And they had other people there who had children as well. And they also had Don's daughter and husband and those kids in there also. And anyway, it was one big, you know, RSO fest going on around there. Absolutely. And that's what was going on in Tennessee too, in my opinion.
Like the fake panelists and call-ins do often, and those in chat and things. And I heard her say, well, Jody Sweven said there was people in sheds, and I'm like, ugh, keep my name in my mouth, But I was like, who is this fake fucker? Because it sounds like all they're doing.
Did you hear her say this fake effer? I'm afraid to tell you, Jody Sue, Lisa's not fake and you know it, right? Lisa's not fake and you know it. You know that Lisa's got prior knowledge of what was going on in Arkansas. And you're afraid that now that law enforcement was called, you're afraid now that Brooks actually called law enforcement while Lisa was on her panel. Let us remember that. While Lisa was up there, Brooks calls law enforcement and tells law enforcement about Lisa, tells law enforcement in Tennessee about the prior stuff going on over there in Arkansas, tells everything, right? That was going on. And she gets Lisa connected to law enforcement out of Tennessee. And that is what's got Dawn and Candace and Jody Sue and Andy's and all of their hair up in the air, right? It's got their hair up in the air. Yeah. Because why? Because that's exactly what was going on up on Ben Hill Road. And they know if law enforcement starts checking in to over in Arkansas, which if they haven't, they should have already checked that, because they should have had the knowledge about what went on in Arkansas, because I know it was reported to TBI. I, for one, called TBI and told about Lisa and the stuff Lisa had been saying that came out of Arkansas, that there was a history of what the sheriff, right, was talking about. So I was like, Ronnie Lawson, when Ronnie Lawson was suspecting, this kind of stuff going on up there, he was right, because, it's a pattern out of Arkansas with the, because a lady came up on the panel and told all about it, and how children were, the house was invaded by law enforcement, and Child Protective Services was called in, and all of these children were removed due to essaying, right? And it's a pattern. And there was more than one essayer being picked up by the law during this time that, that this operation was going down at Pam and Don Wells' house. And that's when Don Wells took off with Candace. That's when they, he became homeless, and they ended up, after causing a lot more trouble, a lot more shit in Arkansas, they moved over into Tennessee with Don's mother, after Josie was born, right? After Josie was born, they took off. And for a while, Josie, Candace and Donald had Josie living at homeless, right? Homeless on the streets, before they went and moved in with Don's mother. So, and this was the kind of stuff, this was the kind of stuff that was going on. So, if Don was living out of a vehicle, right? And him and Candace was living out of a vehicle, what was they doing for money? What was they doing for money? I got a feeling they was doing some shiesty shit. And also, that ain't even, that ain't even a half of it, because while Candace was pregnant with Josie, there was a woman that took Don and Candace in her house, feeling sorry for Candace being pregnant. And they actually trapped this woman. Donald and Candace trapped this lady in her kitchen. And, and this woman was so scared, so afraid that, she tried to push past Candace to get, to get to safety. And another lady had came in, seen what was going on, and actually ran and got help. She's the one that called the police. When the police came, this woman, was telling law enforcement about what all went down. And law enforcement, Candace was saying the woman, because she's trying to push past Candace to, out of fear of Don and Donald and Candace doing something bad to her, Candace, said the woman hurt her, hit her, or whatever, and tried to get charges on the woman. The law enforcement, took the woman downtown. Her landlord, she called her landlord, and her landlord came over there and told Don and Candace that they weren't supposed to be there and they needed to leave and leave now. The landlord had them put out so the woman could return safely back to her home. And she didn't ever have anything else to do with them. She wanted nothing else to do with Don and Candace after that, because she was afraid of them. She had no idea they were that evil and like, the woman said, if her friend wouldn't have, walked in, seen what was going on and ran and got help, what would they might have done to her? But, that's another story for another night, right? That's another story for another night. And I got my suspicions on some other stuff too, which will be coming to the table real soon.
One is adding in everything. Even her dates didn't make sense yesterday. She's trying to say Don is in Arkansas and other places when clearly he's incarcerated.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, Jody Sue. You are so full of shit. No, he wasn't. Absolutely not. Back in, he was living in Arkansas. He was not incarcerated at all during that time. He did get took to jail for a minute over some stupidity, something not that big. He did get took to jail. I think he served like a few days or something, was back out on the street over in Arkansas when he was with Pam. When him and Pam first got married and they had the older kids, he was in Tennessee living at the bottom of 110, living down there in a trailer at the bottom of 110. And they did come there and arrest him, and they expedited him back into Utah, where they prosecuted him up and put him in jail for a while. And Pam packed up. She stayed at the bottom of the property for a little bit longer, but then she packed everything up and she went back into Utah as well, where Don was. But then they moved from Utah over into Arkansas. And when they moved into Arkansas, that's when they started going to all of those food bank things, churches and places who served up free food for the homeless. And they weren't even homeless. They had a house. Don and Pam had a house. It's not the best house, but it was a house. Don was working. He was making money. Pam was staying home. I mean, there was no reason at all for them to be going to to homeless, to churches to be getting hot meals. There was no reason for it. They were actually going there, like I said, to scout out women and guys, who had kids, who had, a substance abuse problem, but had children. And they would bring these people back to their house. They had a guy sleeping up on the roof. Keep him watch for law enforcement. Keep him watch for people coming and going from there. He was actually on the garage roof, like a spy. And they had tents in the backyard with women and children, with families living in them. They had families living in the garage. That's where Lisa J and her baby and some other people were living. And then they had people inside the house, like Candace, who was pregnant, running around inside the house. They were preying. They were preying on people with kids. And they had a bunch of RSOs coming and going from that house, right? And somehow law enforcement got wind of what was going down at that house. I don't know if they arrested somebody who was willing to snitch everything out in order to get a lesser sentence or to get, immunity or something. But they found out about what was going on at that particular place, and they came in, and it was true. And they arrested, I think they arrested like two predators right there on the property. And then they went to a church and arrested another predator that was affiliated with the property. And they were looking for some more predators that was affiliated with that property. Yeah, it was a big thing. It was a great big thing at Dawn and Candace's property during that time. And that's what Jody Sue, don't want. That's why she got her ass up there. She's trying to discredit Lisa and what went down in Arkansas, because she doesn't want that, information coming into Tennessee and people understanding, like law enforcement, basically, and the feds. She don't want them getting a full grip and understanding of what was going on in Tennessee as well, because there's a history behind this, right? And why would she not want that? Why would she not want that? Well, let's take a listen to why Jody Sue don't want that.
All right. Well, that's good. Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 110. Why he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling them over there. Go ask.
Oh, yeah. Go ask. Go ask Andy what he was selling, what he was giving to Candace to sedate little girls, children. She didn't say little girls, she said children. Sedate children. Right? Boys and girls. Over there to be touched. You go ask. Go ask. That's why she got her ass up on the panel.
He is right now?
So
That's why she wants to discredit Lisa J. Right? And I knew it. Honey, I knew it the second I started hearing it. I knew it.
no, during dates she was given in times and things, it doesn't make sense with Dawn's incarceration dates through the years. She couldn't have been, and they couldn't have been in places that she swears she was.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Was you there, Jody Sue? No, you wasn't there. Lisa was there, not you. Yes, Dawn did live in Arkansas. Yes, this particular address was an address of his, and Pamela Wells did live there. Yes, Lisa J had the address right. yes, that what she's saying absolutely did happen. Yes, law enforcement, you can't get the records of it, Jody Sue, because it contains information of minor children. So you ain't going to get a hold of that information. But law enforcement out of Tennessee, yes, they can get a hold of that information. Law enforcement out of Tennessee can get all the records to what happened over in Arkansas at Pamela and Don Wells' property, where RSOs were being arrested and children were being removed and not given back to the parents because they had been violently used and abused by a bunch of freaking sick weirdos, just like the ones hanging around on Ben Hill Road. And according to you, Jody Sue, your old man was supplying the stuff that was allowing these children to be done like that. With your full acknowledgement, with your full fucking acknowledgement. You said, I'm not going to protect him. I'm not going to stand in front of Monster, which is Andy. I'm not going to stand in front of him and protect him anymore. So right there, that was a mission. That was a mission that you mother freaking knew exactly what the hell was going down. And you decided to not give a damn and get no help for those children. So what the hell are you doing on Brooke's panel talking about children at all? What are you even doing out here in a true crime community for missing children when your ass was standing right there going along with what your monstrous freaking husband was over there doing? Right? And you come out here and you said you heard a scream, which was a damn lie. I personally heard you talking to Candace when she wanted you to move the time frame of that scream to 5 something instead of 4 something. You was telling her you want your money. Where is your share of the stuff that she promised if you did lie and say you heard some shit? I'm going to tell you, if the truth comes out about Summer Moon Utah Wells and what truly happened to this little girl, your ass knows that you and Andy are going down too. You not only Dawn, Candace, and Grandis, but you and Andy are going down along with it. And Chad Arnold's and Fred and Laura freaking Hills down there, right? And a whole lot of other people. And a whole lot of those mother freaking clientele, those sickos. Because, you know, like you said, he was supplying the stuff so those little girls could be touched. So, you know, a bunch of people touching them's going down too, right, Jody Sue? All of those touchers, they're going down as well. And that's what you got your ass up on that panel for, because you're trying to protect not only your own ass, but a whole lot of other people's asses too. But I'm sure it's your ass number one, right? It's your ass number one because you knew and you literally lied. You literally lied. You got these children no help. You literally lied about everything you knew. You didn't tell law enforcement that your old man been over there giving drugs so that these babies could be used and abused and be touched in a horrible manner. You didn't tell law enforcement none of that shit. You made up a fake ass scream. You were fucking all in it to win it, right? You was in it to win it, the monies. You like spending. You like getting your nails done with the money that Andy was making by selling those people over there the stuff to do that to those children. You like freaking eating those meals out where you didn't have to cook with the stuff Andy was supplying in order to do this to these children. You didn't give a flying fuck about anybody's children. Like you said, if a child put one little foot on your property, you would be evil as hell to a child as well, right? You were sitting there wishing that if anybody bought that property up there and had children on it, you was wishing that they'd fall over the side of the cliff, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys remember her talking about how she hoped that the kids fell over the side of the cliff up there on her property. Remember that? She sat there and said if she had a child, she had a child that had anything wrong with it. Well, you know what she said. She said she'd destroy her own child if it had any complications, right? I'm going to tell you something. Anything coming out your backside, Jody Sue, probably has some complications. I don't know how you and Andy could have a normal kid anyway. What the fuck are you talking about? Right? Just saying. I can't believe that shit. I can't believe it. I mean, this woman let us know from day one how she felt about children, everybody else's kids. And she let you know how she felt about her own kid if it happened to be something wrong with it, right? How'd she feel about her own and what she'd do to it? I mean, this is a horrible person right there. And she's out here acting like she's advocating for Summer. This bitch ain't advocating for nobody but her damn self. The only reason she got her ass, her fucking eyeballs and her ears out here is because she's got a dog in the race. Right? She's got a dog in the race. That's just the way it is. She the dog. She the dog too.
I guarantee she was in Arkansas, and she does hang out at these homeless camps. And obviously, Candace is with Dawn, and kids stay at their house. Candace and Pam, not Candace, Candace and Pam. By the way, don't think that trade-off didn't happen. Okay, they love their sex parties. But there's too many pedos in the shadow. Don't you agree, Jody?
I think all of them are predators, and I think they work in teams.
So do you think, and remember, we're speculating that there is some sort of RSO ring and they use the I-40 corridor to go from Tennessee to Arkansas? Because, I mean, the FBI says it's a huge trafficking, T3 trafficking hub.
For me, I just, I think that there's trafficking of all varieties because all trafficking is not what it's, made to be, of just small children in this area, and I think that it happens all across not just our country, but
oh my gosh, did you see how she tried to divert away? We're not talking about all over the country. And I think Brooks told her that. We're not talking about all over the country. We're talking about Ben Hill Road, right? We're talking about Ben Hill Road. Hey, spread the love. I so appreciate that, girlfriend. God bless. I got a super sticker. Hey, girl, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Throughout the world, and I think there are many corridors for it, just like there are for drugs and things, which often follow the same. So, I mean, it does happen. It is real, and it is real everywhere.
I agree.
It damn sure
and
is.
I think that a lot of people forget that trafficking also involves, basic house slaves that, women brought from other countries. Or
now she wants to say women. Now she wants to get off the child. She wants to get off the child predator, right? We're talking about child predators. We're talking about child predators over in Arkansas, right? Where it definitely was going on because Lisa J was there. And we're talking about child predators in Tennessee because Jody Sue clearly said, go ask Andy what he was selling over there for these kids to, what he was selling over there for these kids to be sedated and to be touched. I mean, full knowledge, but she wants to go off now on, on women. She wants to go off now on, the basic, ladies of the night trafficking, right? The ones who have control to whether they want to be on the street or they don't, right? Your choice, you know, if you want to get caught up, out there on the streets with some bad people, and you know, and be forced into, you know, into trafficking yourself, in order to, you know, have a place to lay around and a place to eat and a place to, you know, to get your illegal substances, you know, the stuff that you need because you decided willingly to get addicted to it, right? I mean, I'm going to tell you, addiction is choice. It's choice. It's choice that you know, that you make most of the time as a teenager, right? You could say, no, I don't want none of that. No, I don't want to try that. No, I'm going home and I'm going to church on Sunday and I'm going to, you know, get my education and I'm going to get some college and I'm going to get a good job and I'm going to have a good family. And, you know, I'm not going to be out there on the street. I'm not going to end up on the street at 16, 17, 18 years old and end up looking like I'm 60 when I'm freaking 30, right? No freaking teeth, skin and bones. The only time that you, you know, get your health back is when law enforcement picks you up, throws you in jail for 6 months to a year, and you actually start to sleep and eat and get off the illegal substances, you know, long enough to get healthy again. And then they turn you loose and you go right back into the, you know, the same cesspool that you came out of, by choice. You know, when you got out of jail, you could have went into a halfway house and you could have, you know, pursued to get a GED, and you could have pursued to get a good job, and you could have pursued to, you know, become somebody in life. But no, it was easier to go into that halfway house and get with some more people like yourself and head back out on the, you know, out there on the streets and become what you was before you went to jail. And that's what happens. You know, that kind of trafficking is by choice, right? That's by choice. I don't exactly call that trafficking. I call that a profession, right? I call that a profession. I call trafficking, to me, trafficking is people who are doing stuff against their will, right? They don't have a choice to go to rehab and get clean and to get educated and to change their life. I'm talking about trafficking to me is when, you know, 2 or 3 little girls go to the mall and they're running the mall, and the next thing you know, somebody pulls up and takes them away against their will, and they put them, you know, in some storage locker somewhere, and then they move them from there to what they call, you know, evil safe houses, where somebody, you know, holds them in some dark house until somebody else comes and moves them, and against their will. And they get moved to all kinds of different states. They get moved, you know, finally get moved to, you know, some hotel ran by a bunch of, you know, evil beings who have a bunch of clientele that comes into this hotel and, you know, goes to different rooms where, you know, these young girls and children and everything have, you know, who have been taken against their will, have no choice what goes on, because they have been, you know, stolen away right in broad daylight at malls and you know, out in neighborhoods and everywhere else. That's what I call trafficking. It isn't, you know, it isn't some girl, you know, the lady of the night that chooses to be out there doing what she's doing. It isn't a Jody Sue that, you know, that chooses to be working inside of a bar, swinging around on a pole, you know, well, her old man's a bouncer, her boyfriend, Andy's a bouncer, you know, letting a bunch of different weirdos see it, touch it, view it. You know, that's disgusting. How in the hell is a man supposed to have respect for you when you're swinging it, you know, you're up there on a pole swinging around for everybody else to see? How are you going to get respect? She's so mad, you know, she's so mad because he finally put a ring on something that wasn't swinging around on a pole in front of everybody else. He finally put a ring on what he thought was a good girl, not Jody Sue, right? And that, you know, that's profession. She decided to go and do that stuff. Nobody forced her to do anything. And that's what I'm talking about. I think trafficking is when, you know, I think trafficking is what Jody Sue was talking about. Andy was supplying stuff over to 110 so little girls could be sedated and could be touched. That's trafficking. Because these little kids had no say about what was happening to them. They had nowhere to run. They had nowhere to hide. They had no way of choosing whether they wanted it or they didn't. They got it, right? And that is what I call trafficking. It's when someone is being forced against their will to have to do something that they would not choose to do. They do not want to do. That is true trafficking. Just saying. And yes, that shit was going on in Arkansas. And in my opinion, it moved over into Tennessee. And I think that, yeah, all of these sickos, all of these freaks were into it. Because they all seen a way to make money from what was happening, right? They all seen a way to make money from what was going on.
Or, you know, have gotten here around families and hired in, and then they're basically in indentured servitude or prostitution, or I mean, they forget how many different varieties of trafficking they are, and they aren't all just, you know, and they're often overlooked and not talked about.
No, I'm just talking about this particular area. I'm not talking about the entire world or the entire country. I'm just talking about this case. I'm not.
Yeah, Stephen Brooks. I told you, I thought she said it. She did.
Saying it doesn't go on other places. Okay, so we have a question from the chat for you. Kat says, I know Jody doesn't know Lisa, but do you recognize anything of what Lisa said about Dawn and Candace picking up homeless people?
Yeah, I mean, they always seem to have transients coming and going, and there were a couple from Arkansas. And
there you go. There you go.
One is the one that showed up on Valentine's one night, like me and Monster were trying to celebrate Valentine's Day like most normal couples. And he shows up and he's bleeding all over the place and, you know, everything else. And then, you know, Dawn and Candace are trying to fight him and all this other shit. And so here we are with some random dude that's wanting to stay inside of our house. And it's like, hell no, not with my kids, you ain't. And he's like, why ain't you just go to, I mean, these people just don't have any couth or manners or.
And the person she's talking about is Bob the Builder, which was the guy up there helping Dawn Wells put the addition onto his property. They did not drop him off the side of the hill. He fell up there and got hurt. He got hurt helping to put that addition on. And I think it was he busted up his leg or something. And he, you know, and he got it fixed. He got it fixed and was okay. I actually talked to him, and guess whose phone I talked to him on? Lisa Jensen's. Lisa, actually, he pulled up. He was on a motorcycle. He pulled up, and I guess the motorcycle was messing up, right? The motorcycle was stalling out, not stalling and stalling. And anyway, she caught him when she was out there, you know, holding her sign. She seen him and caught him. And she gave the phone to him for me to talk to, right? And I actually talked to this evil piece of crap. And that's what he is. He's an evil piece of crap, just like Don Wells. And he was one of them, hanging with Don over in Arkansas. He did go into Tennessee. And if you took note, when he was in Tennessee, if you took note when they were building that addition, how was Candace allowing Summer to run around and present herself in front of these weirdos? Let us go back and remember what we saw during the time that addition was being put on, right? Because there was pictures that were not, you know, you do not let no child be running around like that. Yeah, I mean, Summer was way too old to be allowing her to be out there like that. But yet Candace and Donald had her out there, you know, around these grown men, right? These grown men from Arkansas, grown men that were over there, you know, affiliated with Don Wells when him and Pam was running their operation out, you know, out of their house, out of the backyard, out of the garage, you know, the same people. They're over here on Ben Hill Road. And you saw how, you know, how the children were during this time were exposed, right? Was exposed to these people. And pretty disgusting, pretty damn disgusting, right?
You know, I mean, like they're just absolutely oblivious. And he was quite a bit older. You know, and it's like, how do you live that long and not know basic, like?
Yes, at that time, Summer would have been 2 years old, going on 3. Maybe the beginning of 3 years old. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like, you shouldn't be going to somebody else's home, drunker than a skunk, fighting neighbors, wanting to stay overnight, all this crap. And then, you know, I'm like, guy, you ain't staying here. And me and Monster tried to figure out what to do with this fella.
Mm-hmm.
Dawn and
but let us remember that Jay's little boy, which she said, she plainly stated that there was a man that came in. A man came in, took her little boy, gave her some stuff, took the little boy. She's, you know, she said she don't know where he took her baby, but, you know, she stayed in the garage, you know, did her stuff, fell asleep. And like she said, 3 or 4 hours later, the guy brings the baby back and gives it to her, right? And gives it to her and leaves. You know, she don't know what all happened to that baby. She don't know what happened, how many people, you know, did stuff. She don't know nothing because she didn't care. She's up in that garage. She's got an addiction. They gave her what she wanted. They took the baby, you know, bring it back, and that's the way, that's the way she was getting the shit she was addicted to, right? That's how she was getting what she was addicted to. And by using that child is how she did it, right? And that ain't my words. I'm not going to say in my opinion, because that's what the fuck she told me. That's what she said. I have it on recording. That's exactly what she told me. That was her words, not PG's. Right? It was her words that law enforcement came in there and busted that operation. It was her words that they arrested pedophiles out of there. It was her words that said they took all the kids, even her son. And they were, they were SA'd. And it was her words that said, that all the kids got took because of all that SAing. Even her son. I don't care if she wants to try to backpedal on it because, she made herself look like pure shit, right? Allowing this to happen to her child, to be the monster she was, to be the addicted monster she was, that didn't give a damn about protecting this child, but cared only about her own damn self. What she needs to do is she needs to freaking take self-blame, right? She needs to own up and take self-blame for her ass being a selfish, self-centered, self-seeking piece of trash, hanging at a shithole like that, allowing people to take her child away and not know what the hell's happening to it. She needs to, hold herself accountable for her damn sins. That's what she needs to do. That's what all of these motherfuckers need to do. They need to understand that it wasn't Don and Candace and Don and Pam's, and it wasn't, the people who was doing, running this operation. It's motherfucking you for participating in it, right? Take self-blame. That's what you need to do. There's people out there right now hiring people to shovel crap, right? There's people with the big help wanted to shovel horse manure. I'm not applying for that job. If you apply for that job, you get that job, and you smell like horse manure, you have no one to blame but yourself. You can't go home and blame the boss or blame the horses or blame anything but yourself for not getting a better job than shoveling somebody's crap, right? That's what I'm talking about. Learn self-blame. If you say yes to illegal substances, blame yourself. Don't blame the person supplying it. Blame your damn self for buying it. Blame yourself for saying yes to something you knew you shouldn't have been doing, but you fucking chose to do anyway. Right? That's on you. Don't sit and blame other people for your fucking bad life decisions. You blame people. You can blame people when they are bigger than you, stronger than you, and able to overpower you, and you had no choice but to comply because you needed to survive. You can blame then. You can say, yes, that evil overpowered us. That evil overtook us. That evil, the only choice you had was to try to survive it. Okay. That wouldn't be your fault. That wouldn't be your fault. You were overpowered against your will, against your will. If you're a child and you're overpowered by adults and you had no say in what these evil people were doing, you are the victim. When you're overpowered and left to just try to survive what's being done because there's no place to go, no one to tell, nothing you can really do, you're a victim. But you ain't no damn victim when you're sitting your ass there willingly doing all this stuff. Hell no, that ain't a victim. That's a participator.
I'm calling, trying to fight him. I was like, don't you come the fuck over here and be bothering no more, you know. And then, I think, I can't remember. I had to look back at my receipts, but I believe we ended up dropping him at a bus station or something. He wanted to go that night. I don't know. But I know he damn sure wasn't staying in our house and not around my kids. And I mean, he just, you know, whatever. And then you'd think that would be it, right? He'd never be back. You'd never see him. But then he did come back at one point, and then he ended up with like Candace messaged me asking me what to do about something like that guy was back, and right now I want to say his name was Bob. I've said it before early on. But he had come back, and I guess something had happened over there, and he went down the back side of the hill, and that's what they said. And you know what I mean?
Is all this in Tennessee or this is in Arkansas?
I was never in Arkansas with them
So
or
this
anything.
is
You know, I don't
also
know
happened.
them like that. This
She's calling Lisa a liar. Did you hear her earlier calling Lisa a liar? And then she's like, I ain't never been in Arkansas. I don't know nothing about Arkansas. Well, she's sitting there acting like she knew everything about Arkansas, about Don being incarcerated and Lisa, you know, and knowing that Lisa's a big liar. And I'm going to tell you, where did she get this shit? Where did she get this information about Arkansas? Where did she get this information? Because I know Don and Candace didn't tell her shit about Arkansas. I know they didn't tell her shit, you know, about where they came from and the dirty dog stuff they were doing and everything. They didn't ever tell her that stuff, you know, before. So where's she getting their information? She didn't have this information before Lisa came up there and ran her mouth a week ago, right? But all of a sudden, she's been talking to somebody that's giving her some information about Lisa's a fake, she's a liar, because, you know, what she did is she was questioning Don and Candace about Lisa. She was telling Don and Candace, you know, that this lady seems to have information that seems pretty, you know, stable and liable, and Brooks is calling law enforcement, and, you know, your asses ain't the only ones in this, Candace and Donald. You got other people wrapped up in this shit, like me and Munster and Fred. You've got other people, and you, as you've seen, she was talking about Chad and Chad, you know, Marlena's. You got Tennessee wrapped up in this shit now. And, you know, so what the hell's going on? And how credible is this woman, Don? Was you guys running something like this? Does this woman have information? You know, she got a hold of them wanting the fucking truth. And Don, you know, and Don and Candace was like, you know, I was incarcerated. You know, Don's lying. Don's saying a bunch of shit and trying, because he's scared too. He's scared that, you know, he don't want Tennessee, the people in Tennessee, to understand that Arkansas is about to come down on their asses, right? He don't want that. So he's sitting there, you know, trying to discredit Lisa when he knows it's all true. He's trying to discredit it, you know, to back Andy up and to back Jody Sue's up and to back, you know, all of these people who are now feeling unstable and feeling a little intimidated and worried about this Arkansas shit. coming down on them. And that's where she's getting this information. This is exactly where she's getting it. So that tells us that these mother freakers are all still. They're all still connected, right? Like the shackles on a prisoner. They're all still connected, and they're all still trying to, bond their shit together to prepare for what's to come, right? We need to know the truth so we'll know how to handle this shit if it tries to come down on us. That's what they're doing right now. That's what they're doing. Right now, they're trying to, to save their asses. And Jody Sue is up there trying to discredit. First thing she's trying to do is discredit Lisa out here in the community, and I'm sure in the eyes of law enforcement. But it can't be done because there's written proof. There's written proof. Law enforcement, there's records where Dawn and Pam's place was raided, and pedophiles was taken out of there, and children for being essayed and not ever returned to nobody, right? It's all record, and law enforcement can get a hold of it. They'll give it up, and they'll see that there's a pattern. There's a big pattern. It goes from Utah into Arkansas into Tennessee, right? And I'm going to tell you, when you got a pattern and a missing child, somebody may end up getting arrested. Somebody may end up getting their ass arrested.
I was in Tennessee and on Ben Hill.
Okay.
And Candace and him seemed to let him lay there, or my speculation is they sort of threatened him and he couldn't go to the hospital, etc., until it got so bad, but he was running a fever, everything else. But I broke his neck falling down the hill.
No, he didn't break no neck, Jody Sue. He broke his mother freaking leg by falling or tripping off of a ladder while he was helping to build that addition to Dawn's property. That's not true. I personally talked to the man. I personally talked to him, and he said he got hurt helping put on the addition, and he's okay. It healed up and he's fine. So I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, this guy was flying around on a motorcycle over in Arkansas while I was talking to him on Lisa's phone. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And he's not a threat. He's not a threat. He's 150% for Dawn Wells. He's 150% for Dawn Wells and all of Dawn's evilness. He made that plain and he made that clear. Absolutely, Jody Sue. I recorded it. Matter of fact, he got pissed off because me and Lisa wasn't for Dawn Wells. He got pissed off because he likes what Dawn and Candace and them do. And he likes the evilness that they allow to go on. He's all in it. Just like you and Andy. Just like Fred and Laura's. Just like Chatty Arnold, right? Yeah. All in it. Just saying. And I don't have to say in my opinion, because we know you guys are all in it. You had your asses out here trying to discredit people every time credible information comes up, and it intimidates and gets your demon shaken. You want to come out and try to discredit it because your ass is scared, and you wouldn't be scared if you ain't got a dog in the race, right? You ain't got no doggy in the race, you're not going to be scared. Common fucking sense, man. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. Barney Fife could have fucking figured this out, right? He didn't need Andy.
Oh, geez.
Supposedly, but I'd say it was them fighting again and Dawn hitting him and him being a little elderly. So there was another one there, you know what I mean? And then we were.
Oh shit, she called this guy elderly. This guy wasn't that damn elderly. He's same age. He's about the same age as Dawn, maybe younger, right? He's about the same age, you know. I mean, Dawn's elderly now, but you know, we're talking these guys were like what? In their early 50s. That's not mother freaking elderly. I hope that ain't elderly. Right?
Weren't aware that Marcos character, whatever, was in there until by other neighbors and until after Summer Bash. We didn't know that guy was registered. You know, like we had no idea at the types of people they
had. Registered sex offender. He's a transient that they brought to Ben Hill Road.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was.
He's not a transit either. Bob the Builder ain't a transit. He actually lives over in Arkansas. He actually has a home. He has vehicles. He has motorcycles. This guy's got a home. I don't even know what the hell Jody Sue's talking about. Him and Don Wells, you know, work together, right? They work together. They're both disgusting. I gotta admit, they're both disgusting. But, you know, like Pam and Donald had a home, this guy had a home and stuff too. You know, just he just has the same brainwave and all the bullshit as Don Wells does. I don't know, you know, she don't know what she's talking about. She has no fucking clue what she's talking about. Now, when she said transit, I think she's talking about Ogre. And yeah, Ogre is homeless. And also Lisa J, homeless. But Bob the Builder, the one over there helping Don, he actually has a freaking home, you know, and I'm sure he drove a vehicle to Don's place and drove a vehicle back into Arkansas when he left. You know, this is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It might. It very possibly could. Absolutely. Because when everybody was turning it in to law enforcement, there was some information we didn't have. See, Lisa Jensen goes under two different names. She goes under two different names. And you know, so law enforcement, you know, has to have both names in order to track her down and find her. They have to have both, which we got both now. We got both.
He was homeless. He had nowhere, but he knew them from some point in the past. And he just showed up, and they tried to say he just showed up out of nowhere. It's like, well, you had to be in contact with him somehow for him to get here now, didn't you?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And the last I knew or heard of him, he was on one of our Facebooks at one point because it was to, you know, get him to the bus station or whatever, however he needed to get out of town and away from the Wells. And so last I heard him, I think he was making his way up to Ohio to his kids or something.
Mm-hmm.
And his grandkids.
He was making that ass back into Arkansas. Right. He was going back over into Arkansas. What the fuck she talking about Ohio? It wasn't no Ohio. It was Arkansas. That's where him and his family lives. Whoa.
But I mean, that place, like, you wouldn't know somebody was like, I know the world thinks we're all tight and close and besties and just.
You bet your fucking ass we do, because we all know it, right? Put a one in the chat if we already know these motherfuckers were all besties. Put a one in the chat if we don't already know, Don and Andy's meeting up at McDonald's. Jody Sue is keeping an eye on everything. She's still talking to all of them, and they're all still talking to her. Hell yeah. Marlena Crawford and all of them at the McDonald's as well, right? Absolutely. Fred Hill still got his ears and eyeballs in Tennessee, even though his ass is up in whatever, Indiana. Oh, hell yeah. Come on.
You know what I mean? No, it wasn't like that, man. But you would hear people of her see him come and go, and sometimes they'd have people of her, and you'd hear the voices for me, you know, whatever. And you'd be like, who the hell's up there now, you know? And it would take you a couple weeks, and they'd be like, oh, that's so-and-so, and they've been here for like 3 months, and they're, you know, they have this habit of calling everybody their niece, their nephew, their auntie, their mama, you know what I mean? But none of them are that, but they'll say that they were staying or what.
Ain't that the way they all are down Tennessee? I mean, isn't Fred Hill and Andy Bernard cousins? And then isn't that the uncle to Andy and to Fred living over there on the other road, Van Hill, that they just, you know, that they just raided? And Van Hill, you know, road giving good old Donald a ride home after he wrecks his vehicle, right, coming off of their property, coming down off their property, all hayed up, you know, been up there talking with them, all hayed up, comes off their property and tears his car up, right? And they give him a ride home. Come on, all these mother freakers are connected. Every fucking one of them. Are you kidding me? Wow. They all mother freaking uncles and cousins and freaking grandmas and grandpas and, you know, nieces and nephews and, you know, what the hell? They mother freaking, you know, they got Billy Bob, Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, right? Mother freaking Joey Joe, Hobo Joe, and they all mother freaking related.
Whatever, you know, and there was always this thing with them to where, and now I look at it very, very much in a different way and have for a very long time.
So they were doing all this is while Summer was with them. I mean, yes. Summer was around all yes. these different people they were bringing around.
Yes. And, but they have this habit, just like Lisa J does say, that's the thing. I know that.
Oh, she doesn't watch Lisa J. She don't watch Lisa J, but she knows Lisa J calls the old lady at the hotel her mama when it ain't her mama, right? She knows Lisa J be calling people her brothers and sisters and uncles and all this shit when they're not, right? Everybody she lives with is some type of relative and she's not even there long enough to, you know, to put her fucking hat down, right? Or take off her shoes. Yeah. I mean, but she ain't been watching her. She ain't been watching her, but she knows every fucking thing about her, right? She knows the pattern because that's the same pattern they all have. Same pattern they all have, right? Every last damn one of them.
She's lying her ass off about a bunch of things there that don't compute, don't make sense, even in, you know.
Now she's back to trying to discredit her, right? She's trying to discredit Lisa J. Jody Sue, you're trying to discredit her because, one, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have no idea what you're talking about because Don and Candace did not inform any of you about what they was doing over there in Arkansas. This is all got unloaded on your asses unexpectedly. It's all come down when you saw Brooks call law enforcement with Lisa J on there and given all the information. This is the woman. This lady is on the panel. this woman is saying that this was going down in Arkansas before it was going down in Tennessee. That scared the shit out of you. And you wasn't listening up when it was all being said before, because you felt that, you felt that Lisa J running around talking all these channels and everything, and yeah, a lot of people calling in, a lot of people's informing law enforcement, but she was going under different names and everything, and law enforcement hadn't ever truly heard her voice or had an opportunity like they did with Brooks. And that scared the shit out of y'all. And you got a little bit of information because you decided to hit Don and Candace up and have one of your little tantrums with Don and Candace, as you did when I was listening, right? When I was listening in before, you mother freaking had another one of your tantrums. And you talked to Don and Candace and listened to a bunch of their bullshit lies to try to back you guys down, to back you off, like you're safe, don't worry, nothing's going to go down, all the bullshit. I think that the Fed should be tapping your motherfucking phones. I think the Fed should be tapping your computers, tapping your damn phones, tapping all of your shit. They should have a tracking system on your asses to see where you're going, what you're doing, who you're talking to, what your conversations are, because I think if they did, it wouldn't take much to figure out that all you asses are guilty of what happened to Summer Moon, Utah Wells. All of you had a dog in the race, and all of you deserve time in prison. That's my personal opinion about it all. You don't know what you're talking about. Lisa J knows what she's talking about. She was there when it happened. Her baby got took. And there is a paper trail. There is legal binding paper trail through law enforcement, through Child Protective Services, out of Arkansas, of everything that went down at Don and Pam's place when it was raided because of RSOs and children being SA'd. Absolutely. And it wasn't because anybody's homeless. It's because these children were touched and hurt and violated in a very evil, sick, disgusting manner. Like you said, Munster was supplying stuff for the children in Tennessee to be done like that on that hill. So shut the fuck up, baby, because this is nothing new to you. Right? Nothing new to you. When you heard it was going on in Arkansas, it was no surprise because you already knew about Tennessee. You already knew what your old man was supplying, and you didn't do a damn thing to get no help for little Summer or any of those other little girls or boys over there being groomed and being done like that. You're fucking sick. You are just as sick as any of the motherfuckers doing it. You're as sick as they are because you knew about it and done nothing. You're evil. You're fucking evil. So quit acting like, you're some holier than thou bitch out here giving a shit about a child when you don't give a shit about nothing but your fucking nasty ass self. That's what you give a fuck about. So stop it. Just fucking stop it.
Whatever.
Right.
And I didn't listen. I clicked in here yesterday. And Brooks, you know how I feel about you, and you know how I feel about Nana and the whole thing. I think there's something up with all the bullshit. But anyway, the thing is, at least
agree to disagree and be friends right after. What happened the last time you were between you and Trevor, not me. So get off my ass. Okay, so I want to know. So
yeah, get off Brooks' ass. Get off of Brooks' ass. You don't like Brooks. You shouldn't be affiliating yourself with her channel. You came over there. She didn't come to you. You came to her. Right? She brought her ass to Brooke. Brooks didn't come to her. She brought her ass to Brooks. Motherfucking act respectful. Something they know nothing about. Jody Sue thinks that, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you one thing. You want to spot evil a mile away? I'll tell you how to do it. They have no damn respect. They stick-faced motherfuckers think they can just walk, they just think they can walk into your fucking bubble and act like the bitches that they fucking are. They think they can walk in your bubble and just fucking take domain, right? Just take fucking domain. No, bitches, you can't. You ain't gonna walk in my bubble and take motherfucking domain, bitch. You better have your domain in your bubble. You come in my bubble, you better fucking have respect, some kindness, caring, and love, or your ass gonna find yourself out of the bubble, right? You don't find that fucking ass sitting on the curb. That's what you're gonna do. Ain't nobody gonna put up with that shit. Nobody has to. I don't have to. Ain't going to.
Lisa does have like this thing where I think there's a little truth in there, because it's like they always pick a grandma with grandkids. They always pick, they'll tell you that they're just helping a couple that are experiencing domestic violence and trying to separate them. And then somehow Dawn ends up, I don't know, conveniently getting rid of the dude off the hill or from around the woman. Somehow she ends up intoxicated and something happens to her. And then it's probably hard for that type to report it. And, it seems to be there's a pattern of that, and they'll always tell you that they're helping. They were helping the grandma. They're the good people. They were helping a domestic violence couple. They were helping a woman get away, and it always...
No. They were telling the truth. They were telling the truth, how they used and abused and done all this evil shit to these people, and your ass sat around, Jody Sue, and laughed. You sit around and didn't give a damn. And we ain't talking about women, and we ain't talking about men. We're talking about children. Stop trying to divert it to women and men. Quit trying to divert it to an appropriate age of consent, when you clearly know what the hell we're talking about. Underage minors, little bitty children, 12 and under, being sedated, being touched, being forced to do things that they don't want to do, being forced to do things that turns their stomach sour, being forced to do things that they can't live with, being forced to do things that they worry every second about is going to happen again. Shut the fuck up. You felt none of those children's freaking anxiety. You felt none of their misery. You felt none of their burden, their pain, their suffering. You felt none of it. And because you couldn't feel it, you didn't give a damn. It disgusts me. You fucking disgust me. That's what you do. Now I'm going to go back over here because I've done proved my point with you, Jody Sue. I done proved my point that your ass came there to try to discredit Lisa J out of fear for your own ass because you got a dog in the race. I done proved that you was talking to Don and Candace, fucking getting information that you didn't ever have before and trying to gaslight people with that bullshit up on that panel. I done proved that you fuckers are tighter than the chains, the fucking shackles on a prisoner. And still doing your bullshit to try to get away with what happened to little Summer Moon Utah Wells instead of telling the truth for her and letting her be found and brought home and some justice served on her behalf. You're still a piece of shit. So shut up. I'm tired of hearing it. Because the only thing we needed to hear to know who and what you are is right here.
Alright. Well, that's good. Y'all go over there and ask why exactly it is he was selling drugs to the children at 110. Why he was potentially causing little girls over there to be sedated and to be touched with the shit he was selling them over there. Go ask. Because I have fucking questions. Not standing in front of him anymore.
I have questions. Not standing in front of him no more. Because he put a ring on another thing. And I'm not going to be able to get my nails done with that sedation money. And I'm not going to be able to eat out with that sedation money. I'm not going to be able to lay around on my ass and do nothing because we're getting that sedation money. That's all going to another bitch now. If they're able to open an operation up somewhere else. If they're able to continue to do what they do at a different location because this one's already been shut down. But none of it's going to be coming my way. So I'm going to tell about it because I'm a scorned ass bitch that had 2 kids by your ass, stayed with you for many, many years, and you married something else. So I'm going to try to, I ain't going to let her have you. I'd rather see you in prison. I'd rather see you in prison. So I'm going to tell some truth on you. Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Second to none. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I don't need to know anything else. She just told us she's got a dog in the race. She just told us she was aiding and abetting that shit when the profits was coming in for her and she was getting the royalties off of it. Right? She just told us that she needs to protect her fucking ass because she was part of it. We don't need to hear anything else. We don't have to ask why her ass was up on that panel trying to discredit Arkansas and Arkansas being brought into Tennessee in Summer's case. We already know. Right? Right there it was. We already knew. We already knew. But I'm going to tell you something. I think there's something a lot worse. I think there's some shit hiding. I think there's some real evil stuff hidden over in Arkansas. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night because we got Easter to celebrate tomorrow, right? We got Easter to celebrate tomorrow. And we're going to be celebrating, baby. We're going to enjoy Easter. That's the day that our Jesus came out of that tomb and extended back into heaven to be with his Father, leaving the Holy Spirit behind. So all who believe could have everlasting life through Jesus Christ. That's when he raised and overcame everyone's sins. Shed his blood on Friday. He died on Friday for all of us. He raised on Sunday. So that whoever believes shall have everlasting life. Amen. We're definitely going to be celebrating that. That's something to celebrate. A man giving his life so all of us can make it to heaven if we want to. If we want to. It's choice. It's choice. God gave his only begotten Son. His only begotten Son. So we could all have eternal life. And Jesus did it. You think that God wouldn't have pulled Jesus out of all of that if he wanted to be pulled out? Of course he would have. But Jesus did what his Father wanted him to do. He became the sacrifice for the world, for everyone, to have eternal life on this earth. And man, I don't know, I can't answer for everybody. But I'm going to tell you what, I sure appreciate it. I appreciate it with everything I have. In the name of Jesus. Amen. God bless us. God bless us. But we're going to enjoy our Easter. We're going to let God know that we love him. We love his son, Jesus Christ. We love the Holy Spirit that's within us, upon us, as Jesus' light is within us as well, like a beacon in the night. And we so appreciate the angels who watch over us as well. And we love them too. We're going to let the Lord know that in the name of his son, Jesus Christ. Amen. And we're going to have a good Easter. And I'm going to tell you what, God willing, we're going to be back here tomorrow night. We're going to talk about Arkansas. We're going to talk about some of the evils that obviously are still hiding there. I think you'll be interested. I think you'll be interested in learning some things. PG's going to say Happy Easter to everybody. Keep those prayers going up, you guys. Keep them going up for Summer Moon, Utah Wells, Sebastian Rogers, Jack and Lily Sullivan, Michael Vaughn. Keep them going up for little Genesis and Nancy Guthrie. Keep them going up for all these missing people. The prayers are the best thing. It's free and it's the best gift you can give. You can give to anyone. Trust me. People rather you be praying for them than calling them on the phone or sending them gifts. They'd rather you say a prayer. Because that prayer means everything to them. And keep praying for one another. Family prays together, stays together. God made us a family. He made us a family for these missing kids. So keep the prayers going up for one another as well. In the name of Jesus Christ. And no, PG's praying for you. I don't know what you want, but I know God does. And I pray that he answers all of our prayers. In the holy name of Jesus. Amen. That's how fast you can pray for someone. And Jesus, through Jesus Christ, God heard. And God does answer. He does answer. Do you think God don't answer? Then you're not seeking. You're not seeking. Seek and you shall find. Right? When we think God ain't answering, it's because we're not listening. We're not listening. No is an answer too. When God don't give you something, don't get upset. Just look up and say thank you. Because I know you got something better for me. And move on. And you'll see. You didn't need it. And there was something better. Trusting God. Trusting God. You can't go wrong trusting in him. Actually, he's the only one you can really trust in. the world today, right? In this world today. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here. And I want you to know I appreciate each and every last one of you for being here. I know I don't say this often enough, but to my mods, you're the best. You're the best. And PD, so appreciate you being here and watching over the channel, the chat, and doing all you can do to keep things going righteously. I know how hard you work, and I appreciate it so much. Don't ever think I don't. And I appreciate every voice in here being a voice for Little Summer. God bless you all. Happy Easter. Good night, everybody. God bless. Much love.